My topic is seed coating and pelleting techniques. Before going to cover these seed pelleting and coating techniques, uh, let me talk about a few words about seed quality. Actually, this seed coating and pelleting is being followed basically for improving the seed quality only. So nowadays we used to call it as a seed enhancement techniques to improve the seed quality, especially after harvest of the seed crop. So these seed quality enhancement techniques involves priming as well as pelleting and coating to improve the seed performance. So here we can say that the seed quality means there are four important characteristics of good quality seeds. The most important and the prime quality of the seed is genetic quality. You know well that this genetic quality is nothing but true to type of the parent or prescribed characters of the parent, of otherwise characters of the variety prescribed by the breeder. So that is called genetic quality. This genetic quality can be very well maintained during production stage. But of course, we cannot do any change or much modification after, post harvest stages. So during production stage, all seed certification officers and other agriculture officers, you know well that this genetic quality is very much important. It should be taken care of in the field level. Then the second important character is physical quality is nothing but it's a void of or without any unwanted materials. That's all. I mean, any unwanted materials. The seed 100% it should be purely physically pure of the prescribed the seed. Then third important character for especially the seed is the physiological quality. This is the important quality as a seed technologist. We can make any interventions and changes or improvement by this particular quality by our seed intervention technologies like seed enhancement techniques. So this physiological quality actually involves two important aspects. One is viability and another one is seed vigor. Here, the seed viability is nothing but this is the germination capacity, the ability to germinate. Whether how many percent of the seeds are ability to germinate, that is called viability. Otherwise, you can call it as a germination percentage. And the second important one, invisible quality of the seed is, most forgotten quality of the seed is the seed vigor. That is the physiological stamina of the quality. As of now, legally, this particular vigor is not being considered in any of the seed testing procedures and protocols. And, proposed seed bill, of course, it has some valid point about the inclusion of vigor for seeds. So, in this particular physiological quality, we can modify or improve or we can maintain these two qualities, which is most important for improvement of the seeds. Then the fourth quality is seed health. These are all the basic things, basic things. Just I want to bring you back to your college days to remember what are the different qualities. So health quality is free from pest and diseases. So healthy seeds. So these four qualities are very, very, very important. As a seed technologist, where we can give much intervention to improve the seed quality is the vigor and viability. But here, before going to the improvement of vigor and viability through different methods, we have to learn about vigor and viability pattern. The decrease in viability is much preceded or much faster than the loss in viability. This means normally we used to test the viability only in terms of germination percentage, but we don't bother about this vigor. So that is why while going for field sowing, field performance will be very, very, very poor as expected when the vigor is very poor. So because now we are not considering this vigor, we are not having any test. We are, of course, we have test, but we are not practicing it. So vigor loss will be taken care. Preceded by the viability loss. So we have to give much more important to maintain the vigor as equal to that of the viability also. So As per the Agarwal 1992, he stated that the seed quality right from sowing to next sowing, harvest, and storage, and followed by the final sowing. The largely these four characters like genetic, physical health, and physiological qualities are being governed or controlled largely by the environmental factors. So much influence is due to the environmental factors. However, the between sowing to harvest, there are factors which is called as pre-harvest factors. The pre-harvest factors are production factors. This will be taken care of, taken care of by the Department of Seed Certification if it is registered for certification process. So here they go for field inspection and repeated inspection, roguing, and all these things. There we can go for controlling all these. Mainly the genetic quality can be maintained at this stage only. So when we harvest the seeds, then the genetic quality it's not in our hands. We cannot further modify on that. The other quality of seeds can be modified as well. Those factors are called as post-harvest, harvest and post-harvest factors. So in these factors, we have to apply all our seed technological or seed processing aspects, right from harvesting, processing, drying, storage, packing, and everything we can apply all our technological interventions here. But even after the harvest, during storage to next sowing, we have ample scope to improve our seed quality in terms of seed enhancement quality. Those enhancement alone we are going to discuss about in this particular class. So normally for this, we have to give seed treatment. General seed treatment is a broad terminology. It's a general terminology where we can give any kind of external applications or any kind of methodological practices to improve the quality of the seeds in general. So this may be either due for qualitative improvement in seed, or maybe for improvement in the field performance and storability. And the seed treatment will also enable mechanized sowing. Here our pelleting comes. So the pelleting will be an important, taking important role in converting the kind of mechanized sowing process. Then the seed treatment prevents infection from predators as well as pathogens and other lower pesticide or chemical usage, and to transform the seeds as a carrier of input such as pesticide, herbicide, and nutrient. So to carry out all these inputs through seeds, it will be much more, lesser than the actual required quantity. In that way, the seed treatment is very much important for us. So general broadly, we can have this seed quality enhancement as a physical treatment like dormancy breaking or germination improvement and all these things. So many things are there. Here I don't want to discuss much on this because these are all very, theoretical one. We are not following these kind of practices in our practice because most of our agricultural and horticulture crop seeds are not having any germination problem in terms of dormancy or in case of physiological mechanism and all these things. So our seed enhancement mainly focus on seed priming and coating and pelleting. Seed priming is just, improving the seed germination by a simple treatment, and coating and pelleting is both for giving, incorporating any chemical treatments and also for, making the seeds amenable for, sowing, or making the seeds which is easy for sowing or mechanized sowing. So here the seed priming, normally when we go for, here our topic is seed pelleting only. But anyhow, I want to talk about the seed priming also, because whenever we go for seed pelleting, there are some problems in seed pelleting, because when you go for increasing the size of the seed by giving different layers or multiple layers of seed coating, normally the germination may be affected, because germination means the germination directly it will not be affected, but in terms of the speed of germination or germination process will be delayed. Say for example, if a particular crop seed could able to germinate within 5 days in normal conditions means that generally the pelleted seeds will take a little delay, 2 or 3 days extra, but all the seeds will germinate. I mean, most of the seeds will germinate. That is the situation. So in such cases, to avoid the effect of, physical impediment or physical mechanism of preventing or slow down the germination process, we have to give the priming. Priming is just opposite thing. By this way, we can push the seeds or push the embryo or allow the embryo for faster and uniform germination. So whenever we recommend for pelleting, it will be better to go for priming, then followed by pelleting. That practice will nullify the negative effect of the pelleting. That is why wherever we talk about the pelleting, we
சார்ஜ் இல்ல
uh,
குறைவா இருக்கு. அதான் பார்த்தேன்.
priming is
கொஞ்சம்
also
சார்ஜ் அனுப்பும்.
so here the seed priming is nothing but just a slow hydration of seeds, hydrating the seeds, not to directly slowly hydrating the seeds over the period. That is, over the period means till the seed imbibe moisture and it reaches it completes the second phase of germination. In germination, there are three phases. One is imbibition process. Then second one is, metabolic initiation of metabolic activity. That is second phase. Third phase is actually the visible embryo germination or embryo protrusion. So here in priming, what we are doing normally is just allowing the seed to imbibe moisture or absorb moisture slowly, either by direct soaking or by humidification or by, keeping the seeds in moist condition and all. So we are allowing the seeds up to third stage, that is initiation of metabolic activities. And immediately after that, we are taking back the seeds and drying back to the original moisture content. So that stage, the seed will remain because the visible protrusion will not take place. The seed will remain intact as such. Then whenever you go for sowing, then again the seed, remember its process of germination where it stopped already, then it continues. Thereby we can speed up 1 or 2 days earlier germination, as well as the uniformity in germination also is possible. So that is the mechanism of seed priming. And we have different types of priming also. That is osmopriming. I want to say that osmopriming is just like use of any osmoticum like polyethylene glycol and D-mannitol and all these things. These osmoticum will take care of slow imbibition. Even if you soak the seed completely in these osmoticum, it won't absorb moisture at rapid manner. It will slowly imbibe moisture. So that is the process of this polyethylene glycol and mannitol. But it don't have any influence on the seeds because all these chemicals are very inert. It will only regulate the osmotic potential of the soaking solution. Then hydropriming is just simply soaking the seeds in water, plain water, for over a period, prescribed period, then drying back the seeds to the original moisture content. That is hydropriming. Then halopriming is here we can include any of the micronutrients or any salt for based on our purpose to especially to overcome the stress situation like moisture stress or sometimes the heat stress and other stress situations. We can go for soaking the seeds in mineral salt or some salt solutions. That is called halopriming. And solid matrix priming is nothing but again hydrating the seeds by slow manner instead of using this polyethylene glycol and D-mannitol as that of osmotic priming. Here what we are doing, we are mixing some kind of inert material or inert carriers like organic or inorganic carriers like vermiculite or moist sand and even sometimes soil and all these things which are having adequate moisture, which will not permit the seeds to germinate. So it will permit the seeds to imbibe, but will not permit the seeds to germinate. In such solid matrix we have to create. With that, we are mixing the seeds and keeping it for prescribed duration. That is called solid matrix priming. And biopriming is the order of the day. Nowadays, everybody is talking about this biopriming. Just inclusion of biological organisms. So here, that biological organisms will be useful for either giving some growth promoting effect as well as for counteracting the diseases also. So in that way, biopriming is now getting momentum. We are using different bio organisms for biopriming. So this is the principle of seed priming. So just dry seeds, we are just going for hydration. Hydration means slow hydration. That is very, very important. Slow hydration. Then dehydration. After hydration, followed by dehydration. That is called as drying. I told you that it should be done at the end of the second stage of or second phase of the germination, where before radicle emergence. Then the seeds will be shade dried. These are all simple process. Shade dried to dry the seeds to the original moisture content. Then after that, the seeds can be even stored for some time, not hours, I mean months together. We can store it for some time until sowing, or we can go for immediate sowing. Then by this way, the rapid germination is possible as well as uniform germination is possible because the seeds remember where it stopped its germination process. All the seeds will rapidly and uniformly starts germinating on a single day, so that we can get uniformity in plant population and uniformity in plant growth as well as the production and productivity of the crop. So these are all some of the recommended practices. These things are already available in our crop production manual. We can very well recommend, refer our crop production manual. Here we have done for a single crop, for example, sorghum. Sorghum seeds treated with, soaking with potassium dihydrogen phosphate 2% and DAP 2% is recommended. This is nothing but either we can call it as a hardening if it is going for dryland sowing or otherwise priming. If it is not to overcome any stress, then it is called priming. So likewise, we have different studies. From these studies for sorghum, maize, and maize hybrids, finger millet, and small millets, we have given number of recommendations which are all available in our crop production manual. All the participants, please go through the crop production manual. Here we have different treatments, but the final treatment out of the best among these treatments are given in our crop production manual. Please refer for that. Then here another concept is seed coating. So before going for seed pelleting, I want to say what is the difference between seed coating and pelleting. Both are referred as sometimes coating is equivalent to pelleting and pelleting is equivalent to coating, but it is not like that. The purpose may be same. The purpose may be similar, but the process is totally different. Here, seed coating is nothing but a thin coating of a single layer or small layer or thin layer of coating of polymers or any chemicals. That is called seed coating. Whereas in seed pellet here, in seed coating, we will not make any change in the seed size and shape, especially shape, because it's a thin coating over a film coating over the seeds. It will not obscure the seed size or shape especially. Whereas in seed pelleting, here we are totally changing the physical property of the seed, especially in terms of shape and size. The size will be get increased and shape will be almost spherical. Even the irregular seeds will be made into, regular shape, uniform shape, the spherical shape. That is called seed coating. So these are all the difference between seed coating and pelleting. And we can use different methods of seed coating. Say this is film coating. Seed coating polymers are available. We can add polymer along with the seeds and go for just rotating the drum. Seed coating machines are available, both manual coating as well as machine mechanized coating is available. So that will form the seed coating. Here, this is one type of seed coating machine available with Incotech company. This jet of this polymer will be sprayed over the drum, over the seeds, which is revolving inside the drum. So this is the coated seeds. Here we are not going to change any shape of the seeds, but whatever additives, whatever items we want to include, like pesticides or fungicides or even growth promoting substances or some kind of micronutrient, even if you want, all these things can be just we can incorporate in this. The idea of this polymer coating is polymer will act as a binder and it will hold all the nutrient or whatever the material incorporated in the seed treatment, it will hold over the surface of the seed so that the dusting off or dust off can be prevented. So both the way, dust off, by dust off, it will create wastage of chemicals as well as environmental hazards. By binding all these chemicals put together over the seeds, we are avoiding both chemical wastage as well as hazard, and also we are improving the efficiency of that particular seed treatment or chemicals treatment effect. So that is the use of the seed pelleting. So here film coating, again, it can be used for different purposes. One purpose is hydrophilic coating. Hydrophilic coating, it's naturally, you understand that it is mainly to absorb the moisture. Even in low moisture condition, low moisture situation, if you go for this kind of chemicals for seed coating, then it will withstand or tolerate even substandard or less moisture content, so that the germination will not be affected. So for these different chemicals can be used, for example, polyelectrolytes with more molecular weight chemicals and the starch graft polymers, and fatty alcohols with starch graft in combination, and other hygroscopic materials can also be used for hydrophilic properties, to increase the hydrophilic property of the seeds. Then similar to this, just exactly opposite to that, the hydrophobic. Here the hydrophobic, sorry. The hydrophobic is mainly to repel the moisture content, especially when you go for, actually here it was written wrongly, you please just ignore this. Here to delay the germination process or to delay the imbibition process, this particular hydrophobic polymers are used to minimize the moisture absorption, especially when it is sown in high moisture environment or flooded situations like that. So this is one typical type of seed coating polymer available in the market, that is called IntelliCoat. IntelliCoat means intelligent coating polymers. So this yearly plant is nothing but when we go for treating, coating with this particular polymer, this polymer will not allow the seeds to imbibe moisture in normal situation, especially during autumn sowing, especially in developed countries like Europe and US. What will happen? Normally the sowing will be taken up for corn. The sowing will be, maize. The sowing will be taken up in spring season. So, but unfortunately during spring, all the people will go for simultaneous sowing of the crop. The machineries will not be available for sowing, and manpower will not be available for the sowing. So in such a situation, what people will do, they will take up sowing in autumn itself, because the autumn, it's a lean period. All the machineries will be kept ideal, so they can go for sowing in autumn. So by giving this type of chemicals, what will happen in autumn? So the seeds will not germinate, will not imbibe moisture content, because it will avoid imbibing moisture from the soil. So that is mainly that polymer disintegration, or polymers integration is modulated by maybe temperature or some other mechanism. Here it is being controlled by temperature. So in that way, we can manipulate sowing, early sowing, but allow the seeds remain in the soil for quite long time. Whenever your required temperature comes, then the seed will germinate. That is the one purpose. Then second one is pollinator plus. Whenever we go for hybrid seed production, we will be having two different maturity group of parental lines. Female parent and male parent will be having two different maturity group. In that situation, we have to necessarily go for staggered sowing, 10 days later and 10 days earlier, like that. So that will be again a tedious process. To avoid that, what we can do, the late parent, late sown parent can be treated with a particular polymer, and we can go for simultaneous sowing. Then naturally, because of this integrity of the polymer, it won't allow the seeds to imbibe moisture immediately. So after 10 days or 15 days, naturally, another parent will germinate. So this is kind of some kind of adjustment of parental lines. That is called pollinator plus. Then another one formulation they have is the relay cropping. So this is again like our what we normally use in our delta region. This rice fallow pulses. Like that, just soon after harvest, or at the time of harvest, or sometimes just before harvest also, we go for sowing of pulses. In such situation also, we can go for just treating the seeds with required chemicals, either to absorb moisture immediately or to delay the process. So the chemical or polymer will be synthesized in such a manner and selected in such a manner and applied for the polymer coating. So this is the beauty of this polymer coating. But all these things are being utilized, I mean, used effectively in developed countries. But we have to work much on this to standardize in our condition. So the similar intelligent coating, they have, how it is working is that, as I told you, that when the soil temperature is below a preset temperature, below a required temperature, the coating is impermeable to water and protect the seeds from, I mean, chilling injury. And whenever warm, the soil becomes warmer, the coating becomes permeable and germinate. This is the process. This is the mechanism involved in this. So this is the mechanism. The corn is once coated with this IntelliCoat polymer. If the moisture, I mean, temperature is below 55°F, then it will be in the crystalline form. It will remain as a crystalline form. The crystalline form means it will not, even if it is soaked in water, it will not absorb moisture. Whereas whenever the temperature exceeds 55°F, then these chemical, I mean, polymer will become amorphous in nature. So the amorphous nature of this polymer allow the seeds to imbibe, thereby the germination process stops. This is the simple mechanism of this particular thing. So this is another representation. Say, for example, during low temperature, it will be the chemicals are in a bound manner, amorphous in, I mean, crystal in nature. And once the temperature increases, it will become disintegrated and it will allow the moisture to permeable, make the seeds to permeable. So another method of coating is oxygen supplier coating. This oxygen supplier coating is mainly used for whenever the sowing is taken up, even in flooded situation. Sometimes the flooded situations, it will decay the seeds, it will kill the seeds. So sometimes because of this non-availability of oxygen, what will happen? The seed will decay, it will not germinate. So to avoid that, even in flooded situation, the seeds can be made into survive with the supply of oxygen. So we can coat the seeds or treat the seeds with the peroxides, supplying chemicals, and we can go for sowing in the highly wetted or flooded soils. So this is called as oxygen supplier coating. These are all the coating which is used for a specific purpose. That's what I want to say. Now let us see the actual our business, that is our topic, seed pelleting. So pelleting is nothing but, again, adding any required or wanted material or useful materials over the seeds, layer by layer, or maybe 2 layer, 3 layer, 5 layer, or even up to 15 layers, to increase the seeds to the desired size and shape. So whatever materials you want to add, you can add with the seeds. All advantageous material or wanted materials, or materials which can protect the seeds or improve the seeds or give booster to germinate the seeds, and all these things you can incorporate. Even chemicals you can incorporate, even micronutrients and macronutrients also we can incorporate. Everything we can incorporate into the seed. By similarly, we can make the size which is desirable for our purpose. Otherwise it is called a seed singulation method. Say, for example, some fussy seeds or choppy seeds, it is very difficult for going for sowing, especially under mechanized sowing situation. So during mechanized sowing, the individual seeds need to be singulated or separated, and this pelleting will do. Not only that, this will also, useful in sowing, mechanized sowing of the seeds. So pelleting has a lot of advantages, like precision planting and spacing, reduced thinning cost, similarly reduced thinning shock also. So thinning shock can be avoided because dropping of single seed in a single hill is possible. Then inclusion of beneficial chemicals, whatever chemicals you want, you can include. The use of fewer seeds. When we coat the seeds naturally, if the normal practice, if you want 5 kg of seeds, then naturally it will be reduced, get reduced. Maybe 2 kg or 1 kg is sufficient in this after this pelleting. And ameliorative environmental stresses is also possible. And protection against the seed predators, sometimes because of this adding some colors or because of some chemical effects, the predators, the birds and other rodents will not affect the seeds in the field. And regulation of imbibition process is also possible because whenever we add some kind of hydrophilic substances like, what do you call this, polymers, hydrogels, if you include, we can regulate the imbibition process also. So the pelleting process is, we have two pelleting process. One is just mixing with the inert materials or pelleting materials along with the seeds and go for pelleting. That is a crude method. There maybe the precision will not be there, and there will not be any organized or scientific method. But the second method is otherwise called as accretion method. Accretion is just coating the seed one by one, making one layer, then second layer, third layer, fourth layer. Slowly we are increasing the seed size up to the desired level. Here the uniformity will not be there, then regular shape will not be there in this particular crude method, just mixing with seed and pelleting material. Here it is not like that. Seed, pelleting material and adhesives are mixed in proper ratio, in the proper situation, and we are coating once and making the seeds to dry again, or sprinkling again the adhesives, then second coating, then again sprinkling the adhesives, third coating, fourth coating, like that we can go up to the desired level. So this method is being followed right now. And this is the method, adhesive and seed and coating, both we can mix together and coating with adhesives. The filler materials are sprinkled over the coated seeds, and this forms the pelleted seeds. After pelleting, we have to dry the seeds in shade. That is very, very important. Then we can keep it for sowing. These are all the pelleted carrot seeds. Carrot seeds, this is irregular shape and size, are made into uniformly sized pellets. So this is, I told you that accretion method. So first we are adding binders along with the filler materials and making one coat, and making second coat, and making third coat, fourth coat, fifth coat. So by this way we are making, this is the seed inside, and we are making different coatings. And whatever materials we want, either colors or ingredients, we can add along with these coating materials or filler materials. So again, the filler materials, normally we can use even clay, limestone, calcium carbonate, vermiculite, and tamarind, not leaf powder. This is a tamarind seed powder. These things can be utilized. Similarly, for making pellets, the adhesives used are gum arabic, gelatin, methyl cellulose, and polyvinyl chloride alcohols, and maida or starch. This is old method and rough method. So these chemicals, normally these methyl cellulose and polyvinyl alcohols are being used at the present time. Then along with this, whatever we want, inoculants, microbial inoculants, growth regulators, fungicides, insecticides, anything we can, even sometimes the growth regulators, we can incorporate along with this, which will be promoting the seed germination and uniform germination, growth and seedling establishment. So selection of pelleting material is very much important, because I told you that these pelleting materials play a vital role not only in increasing the shape and size, it play a vital role in modulating the imbibition process and germination process. The pelleting material must be very porous, because it must be very porous to allow the free air or moisture or water inside or air into that. It should not make a tight bondage or tight prevent the air movement. And the coating must be weaken or break down as soon as it come to contact with the soil. So at the same time, the pellet must be very rigid and hard. At the same time, whenever sowing takes place, and even in little moisture, it should disintegrate or it should dissolute at a faster rate. So in such chemicals, such a material, we have to use it. The material used must not have any toxicity to the seeds. So it must promote the seed germination, but it should not at any cost hinder or prevent the or act as a toxicity to the seeds, then it must be possible to apply as a coating material on commercial basis. So there are a lot of chemicals which are being recommended for seed pelleting and coating, but it is very costly. So such kind of materials we cannot use it. It should be cost effective also. So that based on these we have to select the material. Similarly for adhesives also, the binding material should be, I mean, good binder and perfect physical integrity of I mean, of a seed with filler material. It should have, I mean, positive effect on seed growth. It should not have any negative effect, and also it should be the adhesive is highly influences during handling, transport, and planting operations of the pellet, because whenever handling or touching, if the adhesive is also not dried enough, it is not bound together, then it will create some problem, and it will create some moist environment and all, and the viability will also be affected, and everything will become problem. So likewise we have to select. Similarly, the filler material should also be selected based on it should be beneficial and should not be harmful to the seeds as well as rhizosphere bacteria or rhizosphere organisms. The particle size is very much important for making the pellets. So apart from these chemicals and the recommended fillers and binding materials, we can use some of the leaf powders, locally available indigenous powders in terms of organic treatment. So like Arapu leaf powder, Pungam leaf powder, Lochi, Prosopis, Neem, Moringa, and tamarind. It's not leaf. The tamarind leaf powder is not good for seed germination, because it will negatively affect the seed germination. Tamarind, that is called seed powder. Seed powder will act as both as a filler as well as a binder. So tamarind and the coconut coir waste. Nowadays we are we are using the fine waste material obtained from the coconut coir that can also be used to make the pellets. So these are all the pelleting materials locally available, which is very well used for making the pellets of different seeds. So this is the tomato seed before pellet. This is a tomato seed after pelleting with coconut coir waste powder. This is being pelleted recently by coconut coir waste powder. Just by mixing coconut coir waste powder, it had improved the seed germination in nursery. So this is what we have done a preliminary study on that, but still this process is going on. This fine tuning and the standardization process is going on in our laboratory. So here, this is the difference between seed coating and pelleting. Here, the seed coating is nothing, just without making the change, in shape of the seed, just coating a single layer. This is called seed coating. Whereas pelleting, we are just obscuring or making the shape of changing the shape of the seeds. That is called seed pelleting. This may be in different size and depends upon our requirement and all. So these are all again the coating process and the pelleting process, which we have already discussed. So this is again the fluid method, and this is just coating method, and this is actual pelleting method. So here the film coating, just a single layer of gel coating, and this is somewhat encrustation. Just increasing the size of the seed. Here the complete coating. So these requires different machineries and different equipments, whereas different chemicals for making different coatings. So the pelleting normally we do in our laboratory is by this method. We have a small, just hand operated rotating drum. Just we have hand operated rotating drum. In that we are putting the seeds along with just sprinkled with adhesives first. Then slowly sprinkling the pelleting fillers or otherwise pelleting materials. Then after making a single layer, then again we are going for adding one more layer of this adhesive. Then again we are adding some quantity. So likewise, each and every layer we are taking the seeds and standardizing it for its germination. So we are stopping the size of the seed, increasing the size of the seed in 8th layer or 11th layer or 12th layer without affecting the seed germination process. If once beyond certain layer, if it affects, bound to affect the seed germination, then we will not recommend beyond that particular size. So that is what we are doing. This is the simple process. Anybody can make the pellet of the seed. So this is a large scale millets available in Western countries. This is just seed and whatever required fillers and all these things will be fed in a machine, large scale machine, and they can go for getting the pelleted seeds, which is called as pellet mills are available. Commercial basis also it is available. These Incotech people and others in European countries, they are charging even for canola seeds. They are charging. Making pellet of 1 kg of seed, they are charging around more in our Indian rupee more than 50,000 rupees. So that much costly. Business. This one they are doing it, and after making pellets, we can go for drying also. So this is a normal our mechanized dryer, and also some sizing operations like sorting the pellets. Sometimes there are chance for empty pellet without seed, where just pellet alone will be formed. So that is called as empty pellet. That is not useful. Sometimes two seeds will be combined together in a single pellet, and sometimes there may be a broken pellet or size reduced or small size pellets. All these things will be finally sorted, and it will be separated by a sorting machines also. So the very specific pelleting process methods here is lime pelleting. This is not a new one. This is very old one. Earlier in Australia, they started with this lime pelleting only. The pelleting is started with this kind of pellets, especially for clover, subterranean clover. This is a fodder crop. For this, they made, because in subterranean clover, we have to treat with rhizobium. So to increase the nodulation, we have to treat with the rhizobium. Just rhizobium treating will not give good effect. So in that case, they added some kind of lime along with this. Whenever they go for rhizobium treatment, they added lime pellet. Just lime pellet alone could able to increase both the rhizobium and nodulation and plant population and all these things. So that is what success of this particular technology. Then slowly it went on for different crops. So this is the subterranean clover seeds, raw seeds, and this is the pelleted seeds along with rhizobium. So in some Canada also, the lime coated seeds are found to increase, especially during soil pH is less. And in USA, they said there is no much difference in particular, soil pH. And these are all the different authors studied the same thing and reported different results. So here, this is again a grow zone is especially, available material, especially for rhizobial culture. So this is if you give the seeds, there are companies that they will treat along with their own rhizobial culture, patented cultures, and they will go for pelleting it, and they will give you. That will automatically improve your germination process and plant growth and yield. So the characteristics of pellet is, we already discussed enough about this. The pellets size distribution is very much important, and pellet shape should be uniform. It should be normally the spherical shape is preferred for machine sewing and handling and all those things. The surface morphology should be required characteristics like it should not be so tight, and it should easily attract moisture and all these things. Then specific surface area should be studied before release of these pellets and all these things. The friability we have to study. The disintegration time. The disintegration time is the time taken after after the seed or pellet come to contact with the moisture. How much time it takes. If it takes more time, then the germination process will be delayed. So normally, immediately after soaking or immediately after come to contact with the moisture, it should disintegrate. Then dissolution time, that is also related to that. The density of the pellet and the porosity of the pellet for air movement and the tensile strength to avoid from while transportation, there may be breakage of the pellets. To avoid that, the strength is, tensile strength is very much important. So these are all the different size. Based on the size, they have called it as a different name by name. by Bayer Crop Science. They are also doing pellets with their own chemicals. They have different chemicals and different fillers and all these things. They will not reveal it outside for different size based on your requirement for machine sowing and mechanized sowing. So they will make the proper size and all these things. These are all different pellet properties of recommended by them. Then the pelleting for specific purpose is split pellet. This is more important. I told you that sometimes there may be oxygen hindrance in the oxygen supply. So naturally, after making these pellets, the seed, pellets should be make a crack. It should not split open or broken into 2-3 pieces. There must be some crack uh, uh, is recommended, because that will allow the seeds to respire faster and imbibe moisture like that. Some pellets after immediately after sowing that will split into, that is called split pellets. So accordingly they will add some ingredients and all these things. Then lighter pellets for greenhouse planting. So very lighter. These are all the commercially available materials for lighter pellets. And because when we go for this pellet, sometimes small size seeds like tomato, brinjal, and chili, for 1 kg of seed, we need around 4 to 5 kg of filler material. So naturally, the size and weight of the seeds will be get increased. Whereas in bigger size seeds like sorghum and other crops, we needed hardly 600 gram to 500 gram per kg is sufficient filler material. So here the size and weight will not be increased. So especially for vegetable crops, when we go for greenhouse planting or pro-tray planting, the size, if you go for increasing the size, the weight will be higher. So in that case, we cannot compromise on the quantity of filler material required, but we can compromise on its chemical property. So in that situation, we have to select the lighter materials for seed coating. That is very much important. So that specific type of coating fillers are available. And denser pellet, sometimes opposite to that. Opposite to the previous thing, denser pellet is required, because while going for mechanized sowing, the delivery point to the soil surface, if the space is more, while the machine is tractor or some other moving machine is moving fast, then if it is having lightweight, then there will not be correct placement in the rills, hills. So to avoid that, and sometimes aerial sowing by broadcasting the seeds from aerial vehicles or through drones and all. That time, if the pellet is very light or lightweight, it will not place exactly where it is required. So in that situation, we need a very strong and heavier pellets. So in such situation, we have to go for very heavier pellet materials. So that is called denser pellet, which is preferred while aerial sowing and mechanized sowing and all these things. So these are all the different performance of the pelleted seeds studied in our laboratory. So the quantity, for example, here brinjal, tomato, onion, chili, and radish, carrot, amaranthus. These are all very small seeds, which is very difficult to handle. So we tried with these particular seeds. Say for example, 15 gram of brinjal seeds needs 15 layers. Up to 15 layers we can go. So 5 layers is sufficient. 6 is also sufficient. But the study says that we have to go up to 15 layers. Even up to 15 layers of coating, we need 60 grams for almost 4 times higher than the seed. So by that way, the size can be increased from 2.2 to 2.8. Here 2.2 is its width, but brinjal, you know that it is a flattened seeds. So here it is spherical. Spherical, this diameter is 2.8, whereas this diameter is the maximum diameter available in that seed. So we can go for increasing the diameter and uniform size and weight by this much of layers. If you go beyond these 15 layers, then I want to say that there may be some negative effect. So we want to recommend up to 15, but it may be less than 15, maybe 10 or maybe 5, or depends upon your what do you call it, that plate. Machine. This is this sewing machine, mechanized sewing machines metering plate groove size will decide the size of the seed. So accordingly, based on the available machine, you can go for different size. So these are all for different vegetables we have standardized. Likewise, this is a speed of germination. We have simultaneously studied about whether it is affecting any germination speed or uniformity and total germination percentage and all these things. So to avoid this effect of, negative effect of the pelleting, we have, primed the seeds and then pelleted. Then that has given somewhat improvement or development over the just priming or just pelleting alone. So these are all the different. Now, recently we have standardized this pelleting in our laboratory. This chemical composition, I don't want to reveal it here because the concerned scientist is going to patent it. That is why this was standardized for small millets. Now the small millets, we can go for mechanized sowing also. It is very, very important to go for mechanized sowing nowadays. So they wanted to make the seeds into amenable for mechanized sowing. So based on that, we have studied for thinai 11 layers, up to 11 layers we have done. See the size 1.56 mm to 3.56 mm we have increased, and this is the breadth. And germination, there is no difference in germination, because here our aim of this pelleting is not to improve the germination. It is only to facilitate the sowing process. So the vigor index, of course, because of these added chemical and all these things, it had improved the germination, vigor and the dry matter production and the speed of germination. There is no much difference. So for Thinai, Varagu and Kudiraivalli, we have standardized. Probably next year we could able to give as a recommendation for farmers. So this is another study. Sorry, this is another study with the same thing. Field emergence. For Thinai and Varagu, field emergence, plant population, number of productive tillers, grain yield, and straw yield. Up to this, we have studied for 2 crops, and another this Kudiraivalli we are studying this year. So these are all the sowing machine available at Kumulur, which is imported from German. So according to this availability, available machine, based on this metering device, we are standardizing the size. So we cannot say the blanket recommendation of this particular size, which can be suited for all the machines. No, it is not like that. Different machines, we need to standardize a different size. That is that's what we are doing also. So this is another study again in vegetables we have conducted, and it is progressing well. And the effect of pelleting cum priming in sorghum, we have studied this one, and we could able to find that combination of priming as well as pelleting is always better, because the priming is giving a promoting effect, whereas the pelleting is giving easy handling and all these things. So that ultimately we can improve the quality as well as the handling of the seeds. So this is again the another study in the sorghum. And here this is black gram. Black gram also we have conducted similar type of studies, and we have recommended this. And again, this is black gram only. And this here, this is control final yield, final data I am just presenting. The control in yield is this much, and water hardening, there is no much difference. And whereas zinc sulfate hardening, we could able to improve the yield. And this is hardening with, or hardening otherwise called as priming. There is no much difference between hardening and priming. It is again coming under the priming, wider subject of priming. The hardening is very specific to escape from the stress environment. If the priming is given to a specific situation, stress situation, to escape from or to maneuver that stress situation, that time it is called as hardening. Then leaf extract plus DAP pelleting. So we could able to add more and more advantages to the seeds. This is what we have recommended in 2002. So another concept we have, it is nothing but pelleting only, but based on the need for fancy purpose, we have just named it as a designer seed. So designer seed is nothing but just pelleting whatever you want to incorporate based on our requirement, based on the need, based on the customs. So we can incorporate, we can change the shape, size, or requirement, or whether it is required for improving the germination, or whether it is required for easy handling or mechanized sowing. All these things put together, you can design your seed. That is what our idea. So whatever you want to do it, which will be useful to the either to improve the seed germination or seed quality or performance or maneuvering stress or for just easy handling or even maybe for better storage, whatever it may be. So accordingly, you can design that needs standardization. That's what we are doing. So here, what we have done, so this is a hardening, zinc sulfate 0.5%. Otherwise, this is called as integrated seed treatment, all in one treatment, all in one. So we cannot recommend the farmers to go for hardening, and other people they go for polymer coating. And one more recommendation for avoid, dimethoate to escape from yearly shoot borer or for escape from sucking pest like that. So this trichoderma viridi to avoid diseases, and rhizobium to increase nodulation. So different departments and different people are recommending different things. Asophos and this magnesium sulfate as a nutrient. So all these things we can integrate as a single seed treatment and go for different layered seed treatment. This is called nothing but it is seed pelleting only, different layers with different materials according to its sequence. Then this is termed as a designer seed. It's nothing but. So this is what we have developed for black gram so long back, but this technology is again available in our crop production manual. Please refer for this particular technology, and you can practice wherever this we are recommending it for both dryland ecosystem as well as gardenland ecosystem. So gardenland ecosystem is also good, and whenever you go for mechanized sowing, this will be very much useful. So these are all the sequence. How you go for this pelleting? The previous slides sequence is this is the sequence by one, trichoderma viridi, rhizobium, asophos, and finally this ammonium phosphate like that. So likewise, we have developed designer seeds for, first we started with black gram. Now we have developed a designer seed for all these crops, paddy, black gram, sunflower and cotton. These are all the sequence. So in this sequence, we can go for seed pelleting. So this is again the study of that particular different crops, black gram, what is the control and integrated treatment. Integrated treatment is nothing but your designer seed. See, field emergency is improved, number of pods is also improved, and seed yield is also improved. Likewise, for most of the crops, you see, seed germination is improved, number of nodules and the number of plants, pods and seed. So this is the combination we followed for making the designer seed. So again here ADT 39 rice also we have standardized. This is the combination. So here the field emergencies get improved, number of panicles improved, seed recovery, seed yield. So likewise we are doing one by one here also green gram. In green gram this is the combination. And in cotton this is the combination. Control, integrated seed. Here we included this imidacloprid. So this will take care of from the sucking pest at least up to 35 to 40 days in seedling stage. Thereby we can avoid 2 spraying of sucking pest. So because at early stage there is a problem of sucking pest complex. To avoid that we are using minimum 2 sprays. So by incorporating this imidacloprid in seed treatment itself, we can avoid 2 sprays at the early stages. So these are all the different technologies available. So overall advantages we have discussed enough: uniformity of dosage and the excellence in flow properties for mechanized sowing, prevention of dust of vermis. This is more important. Originally it was started for this purpose only. What we called earlier it is slurry seed treatment. Instead of going for just dry treatment, we just add any adhesive or sometimes simple water to avoid this dust of seed of chemical. So that is also advantage. And lower surface area to volume ratio increase in size properties, improvement of hardness and friability of the seeds, and reduced seed rate, early emergence and reduced time of emergence under stress conditions, supply of growth regulators, nutrients and beneficial microbial organisms are possible, protection from pest and diseases is very well addressed, and better nursery management is possible, especially small seeded vegetables where we go for pro-tray planting like brinjal, tomato, chili, and field stand and uniformity can be maintained very well, and direct seeding of conventionally transplanted vegetable seeds is also possible. especially by machines, by small seeds, and ultimately we can get higher yield and higher income and the plant population and all these things. So this is about the pelleting. Just I want to show some commercially available seed coating machines. So this is manual seed coating machine. Denmark-based Satek company. Sweden and Denmark, these two countries are leading this seed pelleting and coating, both machine manufacturing as well as the pelleting technologies. This is automatic seed coating machine available with the Satek company. This is again the Satek company's automatic machine in two different positions. And this is a large scale multi-batch seed coater which available with the Satek company. And this is another company, Cimbria. This is again centric coater used for simple seed coating. So this is a pellet sorter machine by Zimbria. And pellet sorting means I told you that there may be a empty pellet or small pellets or large size pellets. And all these things can be sorted out by both by density as well as by size. This is not like our density separators, specific gravity separators, where we separate ill-filled seeds and good seeds. Likewise, we can sort the pellet also by using this specific gravity separator. And another pellet is like indented cylinder. For example, our rice and all these things, we are using indented cylinder to get separated the seeds based on size. So here we are using the pellet sorter also. These are all the machines available for our purpose.